Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a very long time, but I needed to come on here today to talk about a case where a woman was completely failed by the justice system. Her name is Krystal Evans out of Griffin, Georgia. Krystal was married to a man named Tom Mallory, and he began harassing and stalking her once she decided to leave him. And this is very clear because Krystal left us a huge paper trail of police reports, protection orders, even Facebook posts where she directly says, if something happened to me, if anything happens to me, Tom Mallory did it. She has told the world that he was going to take her life at some point, and she felt strongly enough about that she was telling us this. Just 2 days ago, on September 13th, she had a hearing where Tom Mallory was present. And in that hearing, she tells a judge that she is afraid for her life. Now, that judge knew that Tom Mallory had warrants for his arrest and that he could take him into custody immediately. Krystal's attorney asked the judge, his name is Judge Parks out of Spalding County, Georgia. Krystal's attorney asked Judge Parks, can you take him into custody today? We need Tom to be in custody. She is afraid for her life. The judge then decides to let Tom walk until Monday. He said, oh, just go home. You can turn yourself in on Monday and we'll take you into custody then. Because I guess nothing bad can happen to Krystal on Friday evening or Saturday or Sunday. And that judge's decision took away a mother, a sister, and a friend all in a moment. 5 minutes after she walks out of that courthouse, and Tom Mallory gunned her down, and then he attempted to take his own life. However, he survived. He's in the hospital right now. Krystal's friend said on Facebook that she had asked the judge and his people, please just protect her. And just minutes later, she was killed in the courthouse parking lot, you guys, in front of the courthouse. How? The failures don't really end there, though, in my opinion, because the sheriff's department didn't like the fact that Krystal's friend and daughter has made a big deal about this, as they should. They should make a big deal about this because Krystal was failed. The sheriff's office didn't like that, though, and they made a very long post to share their disdain for this. And it actually is so unprofessional and insane and victim blaming. I literally could not believe that I was reading it. So the sheriff says, this is Sheriff Dix. I've tried to answer several questions on different posts, and each time I'm accused of being a liar, arguing with the family, making my deputies out as victims, covering up or belittling what happened. I've said I couldn't comment on it, but with all that's going on, I am. For a fact, the person that started the rumor that Miss Mallory asked for an escort has admitted that was a lie. Clerks in the magistrate court were asked, not a deputy, and a deputy was never requested by anyone to escort her. Video from the lobby shows that as Miss Mallory walked through the lobby, she passed deputies and did not ask for assistance either. She walked out of the courthouse to her car that was parallel parked facing north on 6th Street. She entered it. Mr. Mallory, who was in a second car, traveled north on 6th Street with the traffic flow, stopped beside her car where she was sitting and fired multiple rounds through the passenger side window of her car. And these rounds struck her. There were deputies on the front of the courthouse, and when they heard the shots, they responded. Mr. Mallory by this time was driving off and turned east on Solomon Street. A marked police unit got behind him, and Mr. Mallory refused to stop. When he finally did stop, he shot himself in the head. He is still alive. Yes, in the past we have received multiple calls to the Mallory residence, both with claim that the other started a fight. On occasion, where witnesses were present and interviewed by deputies, they said they didn't see anything, or said it didn't happen like it was described by either Mr. or Mrs. Mallory. On other occasions, it was her word against his, or his word against hers, with no marks on either except old bruising, or no marks at all. On one occasion, when furniture and other items were damaged, both agreed that the fight was mutual, and they both caused the damage observed by deputies. There was information given about services available to them to help and counseling. Under Georgia family violence law, it says that the primary aggressor shall be arrested. If witnesses didn't see anything, say what they saw was not what was described by either party, both parties say they both fought mutually, all marks or bruises appear to be old, and there is no physical evidence found, no arrest can be made. There were times when she claimed he hit her or pulled a gun on her, and there were times when he said she got angry, hit him, and she shot at him. This was by all definitions a toxic relationship. In these situations where no one can be determined to be the primary aggressor, both parties are given information about contacting a magistrate judge on their own to see if the judge, after a hearing, will issue a warrant. On one occasion, Mr. Mallory was in fact arrested by deputies but posted bond. We are tracking down who posted his bond. He was at the courthouse just as she was for that hearing. From what we can find, the only people that were at the hearing were the Mallorys, their attorney, the judge, and friends of Miss Mallory's. They are the only ones who know for a fact what was said and what happened. I cannot speak about a judge's decisions or orders. No one is picking one person over the other or believing one over the other. No one is blaming Miss Mallory for what happened. It sounds like you were blaming her this whole time, by the way. We have to take facts and evidence and weigh them against the law in order to act. This is a horrible thing that happened, and people are emotional and angry about it. Miss Mallory's family believes she did no wrong and he was a bad guy. Mr. Mallory's family believes he did no wrong and she was a bad guy. Everyone else picks a side and stand with. Deputies don't have the option to arrest based on who has the most followers. That's not how it works. Do improvements need to be made to the laws? Yes, they do. Maybe it wasn't a deputy or my agency that failed. Maybe it was the law itself. By the way, the deputies that allegedly refused to escort her are the same ones that removed her from her car and tried to control the bleeding and tried to save her life. Okay, first of all, Mr. Mallory, he's alive. He survived. We have no idea what his future is going to be like. And you just told so many people facts about this case that we had no business knowing. None of that information should have been given. Second of all, I would really like to know if the sheriff went and sat through every single body cam footage of every call that was sent to their home. Did you go through all of the police reports? Did you listen to every single 911 phone call? Did you read all the witness testimonies? Did you read everything? Did you see it all? Did you rewatch it so you understood what you were actually talking about? Or did you just ask someone that's there? Or just look and see that there were calls and that no one was arrested? Did you actually pay attention? Did you rewatch the footage? Because I don't think you did. I don't think you would have had time to do all that actually at this point. And what's insane is you say that her family thinks that he's the bad guy and his family thinks she's the bad guy. He's the one that shot her. So I'm very unclear how there could be any confusion on who the bad guy is when he went out of his way to do that to someone who was not even hurting him. What do you mean? It's clearly a toxic relationship. What is wrong with you? And even if you think all those things, for you to publicly post that on the sheriff's page, it's literally insane. Krystal did everything right. She filed the reports. She left him. She told people that she was scared for her safety, and yet she is still dead, and people failed her. I'm sorry, but they did. She was failed. The fact that the judge was aware that there was domestic violence going on between the two and threats and stalking, and yet he still let Tom leave, there should be accountability for that. I don't think he should get away with that at all. Why didn't he just take him into custody? Why did he let him go? All I can say is the sheriff's office picked the wrong family to fight with, because it's very clear that Krystal's friends and family and her children, they're not going to give it up easy. They're not going to be quiet. They picked the wrong family, and I hope that this blows up so big on social media and that everyone stands behind justice for Krystal and it forces some sort of change, because this is going to keep happening. Women are not taken seriously enough. A protection order is just a piece of paper. It means nothing. It means nothing. The only thing it does is leave a paper trail. That's it. It doesn't protect anybody. They're leaving us to have to protect ourselves at this point. I stand with Krystal and I stand with her family, and if there's anything I can do, please let me know.